Hey now. You have a good weekend, Jerk?
We'll see how this Vikings-Broncos game factors.
What about the podcast? That too?
What's that?
All right. Can we scratch Vlasic for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Oh man, I love it.
Dude, it's never gonna get old, I don't think.
Never. Dude, we found the song for the end of time. Or at least the remix. We certainly hear it at every game. Anyway, show 198. Jesus Christ, dude, 2 away from 200. Good Lord.
Man.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Pucknologists, your only completely live, unfiltered, unedited, uncensored, commercial-free Sharks podcast. Wrapping up the week in Sharks hockey, part of Teal Town, USA. What up, Johnny Mo? What up, Juan? We see you in the chat. Remember, you can help us stay commercial-free by using that super chat option during the live shows. Better yet, support us using Venmo. You can find us at Teal Town, USA. Shout out to the folks over the last week who sent some donations using Venmo. Appreciate that, man. But if it's your first time checking us out, welcome in. Remember to subscribe on this platform and whatever audio platform you may use for your podcasts. If you're with us, make sure to hit that comment section, share your takes. And if you need that 24/7 fix of Sharks talk, you can hit up the Jerk Man on the Tweety at hockey_jerk for your very own Discord invite. And, yeah, we're going to be giving away one of those hat trick prize packs. What does that mean? We're going to give away a hat trick prize pack. Why? Because we have prizes. So that means for the Thanksgiving Day, Thanksgiving week, whatever you want to call it, lunchbox, hurdle bobble, and what was the name of that jersey?
Was it Uprising?
Uprising, yes. And an Uprising jersey. So there you go. How you doing, everyone?
So we'll get into that at the end of the show, but
yeah,
there was I don't know if controversy is the right word, but there's
controversy
regarding the winner of this most recent giveaway. There's a conversation that needs to be had, and we'll have it.
Nice.
But some curious things went down. Nothing that's needs to be reported to the higher authorities or anything.
We don't have to reach out to HR?
Yeah, but it is something to chew on, something to think about.
All right. I feel that. I love that. What to talk about during a short week. Gushchin debuted.
Yep.
And then got sent down so he could play. Because a lot of people are going, oh, my God, they just called him up. What did they send him down for? They sent him down because the Sharks got like 4 days off. Let the man play hockey, for Pete's sakes. Kähkönen finally getting a win after 17 games into the season. And let's be honest, dude. Oh, dude. And, I mean, the thing I think we're all excited about this week, maybe except for me, was the fact that Jerk finally got some tacos.
Yeah, man, dude. The crowd was buzzing. They wanted it, and the Sharks finally delivered.
Oh, man. And it was quick. Dude, like, I was putting that tweet together, and I'm like, God damn it, they did it. I thought they were going to sit on 3 the whole game.
You son of a bitch, you did it.
Yeah, what did you tweet me? You're like, 4 goals, bitch.
Yeah, it's like if you've ever seen that meme of like the guy on the podium and he's like super hyped and like dousing himself with champagne, and then it zooms out and he's on like the 7th place podium. Like that was me. That was me when they got 4 goals last night, because we still got a long road to go. We're not there yet.
Last night, dude, it was Thursday.
Whatever, dude. This weekend is
flying by.
This weekend has been flying by. Some moments it's gone really fast. Some moments it felt like it won't end.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier today, building IKEA furniture felt like it wouldn't end.
Oh, dude. 30.
Not a sponsored post.
31 games left at home. You only need 6 more, buddy.
Honestly, despite everything that has happened up to this point, I still feel pretty good about my about my chances.
I feel better about your chances and worse for mine after Thursday. So we started off against Florida. It's a 5-3 loss. And, dude, Declare under the weather, evidently was battling strep throat.
Have you ever had strep throat?
I think I did at one point, and I don't remember it being that much of a pain.
See, I've never had it, but everything that I've heard is like it'll really fuck you up if you're not in the right, frame of mind.
I guess I was in the right frame of mind. I don't know. I thought I had it in like my late teens or something, but
Sure.
I'm pretty sure I still worked. I didn't talk a lot.
Right.
But anyway, Declare, Knyzhov, and Burroughs are the scratches on that one. And I was like, oh man, Knyzhov, come on. And you're leaving Vlasic in there? Okay. But Gushchin would make his NHL debut. Hoffman finally getting off the schneid. Dude, we got some guys that like, where's this been? The fourth line, bottom six, whatever you want to call it, coming together between Smith, Hoffman, Kunin. Yeah, you're like, wait, what?
Well, I think they listened to the podcast and they were like, man, those guys are right. If we want to go to a better team, we got to start playing well.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, we got to get the hell out of here. But the Sharks had gone 0 for the previous 12 power play tries. They finally score on the power play. Hurdle ties Owen Nolan for 5th on the Sharks all time.
I'd like to interject on that.
Oh, whip it out.
And this is a full, this is going to be a wank session.
Oh, shit.
So we, me and the cronies, right? Me and the, Gamblers Anonymous, we saw the tweet. We saw the tweet that the NHL put out and said, oh, Tomas Hertl has a chance to, tie Owen Nolan, all this kind of stuff. And my brain was like, all right, team, we're doing it. Hertl, 1+ goals for the game. And boy came through, and it was a hell of a time. I was, by myself watching the game. I was hyped, and it was all good. So.
I've been meaning to ask you.
Ask.
You owe me $20.
Correct.
I might need to have you like hammer something on your app.
Sure.
and it's like, okay, if you double up, all right. So just give me the winning part. You can keep the other 20.
You got to catch me at a good time, though. That's the thing. Like if you asked me to do this like today, like maybe I can do something good for you. If you asked me yesterday or Friday, your money would have been gone. Before it even.
How confident are you feeling about Monday night?
Monday night, who we playing Monday? That would be the Capitals, dude. The Washington Capitals, man. Like, and I'm saying Capitals because you get what I'm pointing at.
I meant football, but sure, why not?
Sure, hey, we'll do football. I'll tell you this. Here's the jerk pick for football. Chiefs Eagles. The total points line for that game. I know we're getting way out of pocket here.
Way off.
The total points line is 45.5. Fool's bet to take the over. Telling you right now. All
right.
People, the books, they say, hey, remember the Super Bowl when the combined score was like 87? The over in Eagles Chiefs is a fool's bet. Take the under. It's gonna be 17-10. It's gonna be a chess match, I think.
All right, we need to get back to hockey.
And if I'm wrong, you didn't hear it from me.
There you go. The thing about Florida, that game, dude, the offside challenge kept it 4-3.
Yep.
I never saw it come out definitively. Did you?
There was, see, this is the annoying thing about challenging is the NHL has,
all these cameras they won't show you.
Yeah, the NHL, they have an arsenal of camera angles and zoom functions. And when I say zoom, I mean zooming in.
Yeah.
That for one reason or another, they don't release until the challenge is over and the outcome's been decided. And I did see an explanation coupled with a video about the puck came out, and what had ostensibly happened is the Panthers player.
What had happened was
right. It was a lot. It was saying a lot to explain a little. Where basically yes, the puck came back in off a Sharks player, so by that logic, it shouldn't have been offside. Or yeah, shouldn't have been offside. But the Sharks player's leg was bumped by the Panthers player's leg, so it was like a forced offside kind of situation. So, like I said, it was saying a lot to explain a little, but I think, whatever your thoughts on it, I think based on how the rule is written, I guess they got it right. It's just weird how they got there.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I feel like you could say that a lot about the NHL rulebook in general, could you not? Like,
oh, so
like
much.
could you you look at any given play and you say, based on the way it's written, like this is the right call, but this is dumb as hell, like just on its own.
So much. The Sharks did take the lead, but they pissed it away.
Yep.
In the third. 0 shots on goal in the last 9 minutes with 3 minutes left. I'm like, come on, what are we doing here? And then pulling Blackwood with 3 left, and of course they give up their third empty netter of the season. Tickets distributed 10-108. Well, we're going to get into that in a little bit.
Hanging in there.
Oh, dude, we're going to get into that in a little bit because there's a spicy meatball on Twitter that came from that.
Okay.
The other thing that I was like a little perplexed by, Eklund getting benched for a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, hold talent accountable. You got to build that culture, but I don't know. Like, Eklund is one of the last people that I'm like, he's not doing his job.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm with you, right? Where if there's a message to be sent, I think you send it, right? But on the flip side, given where things were in that game, right? Like to your point, the Sharks, they came back, they take the lead, right? And then, obviously things did kind of go off the rails for the Sharks there. But I still think if you're looking to tie the game, like regardless of what's happened, like I think your best players have to be in that position, right?
Dude, I'm saying it. So we move on to the game against St. Louis. 5-1 victory for the Sharks. Kähkönen finally getting his first W. The guys over at Let's Go Blues Radio we had to do a welfare check. Oof. They're like, are you kidding?
Dude, they lost 5-1 last night too, as well. Did you see that?
No, I was at the CUDA game.
The Blues have been on an interesting trip the last week. The last 2 games they've lost 5-1. The game before that, actually the 2 games before that.
That's nothing. Try losing back-to-back 10-1.
No, I know, but it's just like the last. I think it's the last 6 games for the Blues. They've either won by 4 or lost by 4.
Oh my God! And then what was the play? There was I don't even remember the guy that started, but of course, bitch boy Binnington has to make a fucking showing.
Yeah, well, you saw even when he came out from the dressing room to relieve Hofer, you already saw him kind of making a comment or giving a look. You know what I mean? Like it started before he was in the net.
That guy, dude.
Dude, like I say it all the time. Like you waste so much more time, effort, and energy being a dick than you do being nice.
Oh, dude.
It's like, why do you got to let stuff rattle you? You're a freaking professional. You have a Stanley Cup and you've made millions of dollars. Like, just chill out. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. Like,
well, I mean, St. Louis game, of course, the big notable before the game even started was the fact that Vlasic, Labanc, and Knizhov, a second straight scratch. Is Knizhov an upgrade over Ferraro, Emberson, Nikita? I'm never gonna get his last name. Burrows, Ruda, Addison. Is he not like? I wouldn't mind seeing Ruda sit for a game and have Knizhov up there.
Specifically Knizhov, I think because I have a vested interest here, like it's a player that I want to see do well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel like it's the point that I was making, I believe it was a week or 2 ago about, like you got to let these guys work their stuff out, like whatever it is, a scoring slump, kind of a couple bad defensive plays in a row, like whatever the situation is, like you got to let them figure it out. You know what I mean? And Knizhov is kind of in a no man's land right now because whether you like it or not, there are 6 defensemen ahead of him that are playing better, but he requires
like, and when I say that, I'm thinking of Ferraro.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe better is the wrong word, but like good enough for what they're trying to do, I guess. like I'm definitely with you, dude. I definitely want Knyzhov to be playing, but I kind of also I see what David Quinn is trying to do. Like he's, it's not. I feel like it's not so much about wins and losses as it is about consistency. And it's like, well, I think you can point to the Florida game specifically, even though they lost. I think you can say, hey, this group, they've done a lot of good things, and we want to reward that going into the St. Louis game. And so I don't like it at the expense of Knyzhov being in the lineup, but I do. I mean, there have been worse decisions made, I think,
Oh, I would take that. I would even. I'm like, fuck, let's go 11-7 so we can get Knyzhov in there. But
I mean, I can think of any number of forwards that I wouldn't mind sitting for a game.
Oh, I'm telling you,
it was Hoffman, and then Guy went on a rip.
Yeah, dude. And to be fair, I was kind of there with Kunin for a hot minute, but
he's been hot too.
Yeah,
somehow.
well, and Granlund was the other one who was kind of like on my, voodoo doll list. But as noted by Pashelka, dude, Vlasic, Labanc, Knyzhov, it's like, and there's $13 million scratched for the game.
Yeah,
like
you know what's funny though, specifically about that? I saw a tweet, really got a good laugh out of me. It was, I don't even know where the clip was from, but it was like, the tweet was, the Sharks the moment they scratch Vlasic, and it's like a clip of like some kind of charity hockey team or adult hockey team or something like that taking the ice, but they're all wearing Sidney Crosby jerseys. Okay. And so it's like, oh, the Sharks scratched Vlasic, and now all of a sudden they're like this elite team.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And this is a weird game, dude. It took the Blues 13 minutes to get their second shot on goal in this game.
You think that was weird?
I thought it was a little interesting when you consider all the shots that, I mean, the Sharks have yet 17 games in, they've yet to end the game with more shots than the opponent. So I was like, fuck, is this going to be the game?
Right. So
I was like, whoa. And then, of course, this game against St. Louis, it was all about the bottom six.
Right.
And a Hoffman breakaway is, oh my God, teach Granlund how to do that. For the love of God. This one, tickets distributed 1042, was Hockey Fights Cancer Night.
Yep.
But man, dude, with that forward group, how bad do you have to be scratched? You're looking at Labanc. I mean, dude, Labanc, he's in a contract year. Like, how is he not just balls to the wall every game? I got to get it done. And you're telling me he can't crack a roster that has Smith, Carpenter, and Kunin on it?
Yeah, I mean,
or
dude,
Zadina. Zadina hasn't exactly been lighting it up.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, Chiefs said, I know it doesn't mean a lot, but Zadina's a -15.
Right. And as much as I am team Zadina, like, I'm not against sitting him for a game just to kind of let him reset,
Mm-hmm.
And
now, to be fair, Zadina has 3 goals. Labanc has a donut.
Right. And man, like, to your point with Labanc, dude, like, I'm sort of at a loss for words, right? Because you'd think, like,
how much motivation do you need? You're like recently married, recently became a father. This is your contract year, dude.
Contract year. Bob Bugner got fired. Your injury, you're healed from your injury. Like, there's any number of things that you can point to, right?
Like, come on.
I don't know. I don't want to speculate because obviously we're not there. We don't know. But it's just like, he's a player that has talent. And for whatever reason, I don't know if there's some kind of mental block going on. I don't know if it's he just doesn't care or whatever. But it's like,
he needs to find a brother he can borrow some logs from.
Right. A player that talented should not be that terrible.
Yeah. But when it comes to Labanc, we're not going to talk about it. We don't need a wank. We'll get into that later. But short week, but hey, the Sharks, I mean, they went 500 this week. How amazing was that?
Hey, you know what? You'll take them any way you can get them, right?
Oh, I'm saying it. So Gushchin, I mean, what did you think about Gushchin in the call-up? I mean, I was very much kind of like, it's about goddamn time.
Yeah, I thought he played really well. I mean, the thing that I noticed right away was his speed. You know what I mean? Like, there was at least a couple moments specifically against the St. Louis Blues, which, I mean, I've said all along the Blues are frauds, so this is not that big of a surprise. But, like, he was kind of when he had the puck or when he was chasing the puck, I really felt like he was kind of skating circles around them. Put some pucks on net. He had 3 shots in the 2 games, which you got to start somewhere, right? Put the puck on net, see what happens. You're kind of feeling it. He gets an assist as well. I thought he played really well. I do understand that the Sharks are in the midst of a kind of a lengthy break, which is fine, whatever. But he is somebody that I would like to see come back up, and I think we will see him come back up. As the season goes on. Ryan, our friend Ryan, he and I were talking last night specifically, not so much about Gushchin, but just in general, him, Bordeleau, even the guys like, Quentin Musty, Will Smith, these guys, like, and we kind of kept going back to the same point, and where it's like, we saw it last year with Eklund, where it's like, yeah, these guys could come into the lineup, but they're still somebody waiting in the wings to kind of swap out for them. Give you a night off because we got to get this guy in the lineup, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's changed this year with William Eklund specifically is there is no kind of like lateral, hey, we just want to get a different look sort of vibe when it comes to Eklund. Like, Eklund's played every game because he is one of the top 12 forwards on the team, right?
I'd say top 6.
Right, but you get my point.
Yeah.
And so for those kind of guys, Gushchin and then obviously Bordeleau, all the guys that we want to see make the NHL, it's got to be
for Eklund, I'd say top 3 after the trade deadline.
Right. But for those guys, it's got to be the same kind of thing where it's like, okay, you can come in the lineup now, and that's awesome, but I would much rather you come in the lineup when there's nobody on the sidelines that could swap out for you.
Hell yeah. Oh, and Sharks Jewels. Talking about that in-between legs look that he had.
Dude, that was cheeky, man. That was really cheeky.
Oh, dude, if he had scored that, oh, dude, I was been like, oh, shit, here we go, dude. He ain't going down.
Pump the lotion.
Yeah, dude, I was like, Hurdle 2.0, baby. And this is fun. Aaron Jacks in the chat saying Labanc will not be a Shark next year. Dude, I don't think Labanc's going to be a Shark after the trade deadline, bro.
Dude, I think you could make an argument Labanc's not a Shark right now.
Dude,
tell me I'm wrong.
I'm saying it. Hey, he wasn't in the lineup.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and the thing is, we both know what's going to happen. Like, he's going to go to another team and go on a rip. Like, we know this.
We know this. He may or he may not. Didn't Meyer get like scratched? Or
yeah,
I thought I saw something about Meyer in the last day or so. Like, things are not working out in New Jersey quite the way I think he thought they would.
I believe, though, I don't want to speculate, but I believe, yeah, Meyer's absence from the Devils lineup is injury related.
Oh, okay.
But because
still, though. I've definitely seen the share of tweets kind of going off on Timo a little bit. Like, he has like one good game and everyone's like, oh my God, this guy's going to be amazing. And then like 4 straight games and it's like, where is the goddamn guy?
Well, and you know what? Like, this is kind of an interesting dialogue on where the NHL is right now. You know what I mean? So like, what Timo Meier has done this season, if you extrapolate that over a full season,
whoa, I know words.
That's a 65-point season, which is very good. I can think of.
But is it $8 million good?
See, and that's the thing. I think just generally, I think if you score 65 points a year consistently, I think you're a pretty good player, and I think you have a lot to be happy about. But where the NHL is now, the floor and the ceiling have moved, right? Mm-hmm. Where now it's like you can look and you can say, oh man, Timo Meier's on 6-point pace for 65 points. Like, that's awesome. But you expect 80, 85, 90 from Timo Meier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
dude knocking on the door of a 40-goal season.
Right. And so I just you see that with a lot of guys too, where because the floor has moved, like, guys will put up really impressive seasons, but it's not good enough because of where the new low bar is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like another example, I'm sorry, is like Alex Ovechkin. Like, you remember the year, it might have been 5 years ago, Alex Ovechkin had 32 goals, which is awesome. And everybody was like, this guy's washed. Like, he sucks. Like, trade him now. And it's like, he had 32.
Dude. Martin Jeffries in the chat saying, I may have missed it. Is Couture done? Yes. He quit hockey. He's gone. He doesn't live here anymore.
I think it is interesting.
Dude.
Like the fact that he's just like, not so much that he hasn't played, because that's whatever, but just the fact that we've heard like nothing.
It has been total radio silence on that.
And the fact that he hasn't even been around.
Well, I mean, they've
Like,
shown him.
Yeah, but like you can kind of see though where it's like, oh, so and so is in the gym, so and so is on the ice after practice, so and so is on the trip. You know, like he's not even at the facility, like on the stationary bike. That we know.
Dude, that's a weird move to get traded this way. I mean, well, dude. Oh, hold on. A couple in the chat. Ian, Labanc's going to go to another team and end up in another doghouse. Of course he is. Oh, man. Yeah, poor schmo. Dude, but 17 games in your goal leaders are Zetterlund and Kunin? Really? Not on my bingo card, crazy. Dude. I mean, at this point, let's be honest. And again, injuries happen. But we knew early on Couture was not going to be starting with the team. I don't know that we all thought he was going to be out this long, but I think if you were going to, break out Hockey Jerk's trusty, handy betting app, and you're like, give me the two names you think are going to be leading in goals after 17 games, chances are Hertl is one of those names.
Yeah, I honestly thought it would have been Hertl, and I probably Couture, to be honest with you.
Yeah, or maybe even Barbie gets a look.
Yeah, or Eklund.
Yeah. So Zetterlund and Kunin.
Duclair.
Yeah, you're really kind of hoping for that reclamation project to go through. So this we're gonna do. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, but let's just bring it up again because it seemed like once we talked, seems like once we talked about it, all of a sudden every other podcast started asking the question. So we're gonna ask it again at this point right now.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to the All-Star game for the Sharks?
Mackenzie Blackwood.
Yeah, that's. You think Zetterlund gets a sniff?
If he can pick it up offensively, sure. I think you could say the same thing about Hertl. Specifically Hertl. Yeah. I think Hertl is definitely like when they do the do that last man in bullshit and every team gets a suggestion for last man in whether or not they deserve it.
Yeah.
Like I think Hertl will be the last man in candidate, but I think Blackwood is going to be the first guy to, automatically go to the All-Star game.
And it wouldn't surprise me if Blackwood pulls a nabby. And he's put in for, say the third period and lets in nothing.
Well, and that's the thing, there's a lot of conversation about the All-Star game, how it sucks. And
wait a minute. Hold on. I forgot. Yeah. Do they do three? They don't do 3 periods, do they? I've totally forgotten the All-Star format at this point.
So in the current format, if Blackwood were to go, he would play at minimum, he would play half of a period.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
At maximum, it would be a full period.
All right. Well, okay. I want to stop talking about the All-Star game. So we're both there. Blackwood, maybe Zetterlund is a long second choice. So far for the Sharks, though, even strength goals, 18, power play, or I should say special teams, 8. But right now, still a minus 47 on the goal differential.
Right where we want them, baby.
Oh man, and they're coming from they're coming in waves against the Sharks. Even strength goals have been 49. They've allowed the Sharks have scored 18 even strength goals. They've allowed 18 power play goals. And as of last look, Sharks are right now giving up 4.29 goals per game. Now,
hell yeah,
I will say. Like, okay, the 220 or the 2 games that equaled 20 goals, kind of an anomaly, skew the stats. So let's toss that. You toss those 2 games, it goes down to 3.5. Still way too much.
Not great, but better. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing that really gets you, how many goals against have come in the first or last 3 minutes? And I'm not even counting empty netters, 26 of 73. So more than a third. Like, man, you guys got to lock this down.
And I think that speaks to kind of what we've been talking about for years now, right? Where, we don't really care whether you win or lose. We care about being excited, and we care about making positive growth, right? And I feel like especially in these last 2 years, when the rebuild has been finally acknowledged, the Sharks will play well, or maybe not well, but they'll play exciting. They'll score goals and things will be fun. And then, the wheels kind of fall off a little bit, and then they lose, or they go to overtime and then have to squeak out a boring win. And I kind of think that's part of the playbook, is like give the fans something to be happy about while still recognizing what your long-term goal is.
Yeah. I'm in the chat saying percentage chance Couture goes on LTIR. The Chiefs has been out for a month. Is there a reason why he hasn't gone on it already?
Yeah,
a month I would call long term.
Well, so the thing with I think, and I'm just speculating here, but I think the reason why Couture hasn't gone on the long-term injured reserve is because the Sharks don't need him to. They have caps, they have the cap space to afford him just being on regular injured reserve.
All right.
Also,
send it.
When you're in LTIR, you don't accrue daily cap space leading up to the trade deadline.
Oh, well then there you go. There's your answer.
Yep.
The other thing, of course, what do you got there? Numbers? Sharks have the fewest shots on average, 23.9, call it 24, but most allowed on average, 38.3, 0.4, whatever.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, talk about, man, dude, you're literally giving up like 14, 15 more shots per game. Oy, oy, oy. That's going to be how you lose some games there. Let's get to the hero and zero. This is one of those weird weeks where I think there's a lot to choose from, perhaps on both sides. So I will.
A lot of candidates.
Yeah, I'll defer to you. And if you want to take, I have a hat trick pick, if you will.
Okay.
So, but I'll do. Or should I go first?
You got yours picked out. I say you go for it.
Okay. My hero for the week, dude. It's the that bottom line, if you will, depending on what point of the game you're watching. But over 2 games, dude, Kunin, Carpenter, and Smith all combined for 3 goals, 5 assists, and a combined +7. I mean, that was one of the things that we complained about, talked about, whatever, over the course of the last few seasons, is the bottom 6 not contributing. I mean, yeah, 2 games, small sample size, but at least you're not going, oh, fuck, these, it all sucks. Like, no, you can look at a couple guys and go, hey, they had their guy.
Right.
So and
that's what I like about the point that you just made, is how many years has the Sharks fourth line just been kind of a mixed bag of crap, right? And it's like, okay, Sharks fourth line has to go out, change the channel, expect a goal. So even though it's a fourth line and your fourth line is doing what it's supposed to do, this is the first time in a long time the Sharks have had a competent fourth line.
Or at least one that contributes. Right.
And if you recall, the previous 2 seasons, they did have a competent fourth line. They were just playing on the third line.
You right. And I think you could make a solid argument. Hero, Kunin, 3 goals, 4 points, +4 over the last 3 games.
Imagine if he had been doing that since
from the get-go?
The Sharks had acquired him. Because that's what he was like. That what he did this week is what people were kind of forecasting was the next step for him.
Mm-hmm.
I want to derail the conversation here for a quick minute.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, I'm going to forget.
Hey now.
You recall the comment that you screenshotted from last year regarding Arizona and somebody saying they would donate money to the podcast. You recall that, right?
Oh God, what was that guy's name?
Was it Swift Shark? Because
yes.
if it is,
yes.
They're in the chat right now. I don't know if you need to have a conversation with them or not.
Yeah, Swift Shark, buddy. Yeah, so he was going to donate like $100 to the cast when Arizona beat them, and they lost to Arizona every goddamn time last season.
Something to think about.
Oh,
I don't know
man.
if you have the graphic on hand or not. But,
No, I don't. We moved on after the season ended. I'm like, fuck. So who's your hero for the week then?
Well, and this is going to be an easy pick, but here's the thing: low-hanging fruit are still nutritious, right?
Hey, that's what they say.
It's Mike Hoffman.
Yeah,
he's come in. We talked about him a week ago. Guy came in. He was supposed to put up points and play well enough to net the Sharks an asset in the future, and that was not happening up until 5 days ago. And then
3 games ago.
Yeah, and then he goes off 3 goals in 2 games, and they're not just like, stand in front of the net and the puck hits you and it goes in kind of goals.
No,
like
there's some skill in there.
They're skill goals. One of them was a breakaway. One of them was he was pretty much on the goal line and it was a real kind of a tight shot. In the first period of, I believe, the Florida game. And, I'm not ashamed to admit that part of this has to do with him scoring did help me win some money this week. But it's a total package. Like I thought, when you hit rock bottom, you have nowhere to go but up, right? And I kind of feel like this was the beginning of that. So I'm hoping we see more, and I'm hoping he can play well enough to net the Sharks an asset in, 4 months.
Yeah, 4 games coming up this week, so it should be interesting.
Yeah.
0 for the week. I'm going to go back to the scratches from the St. Louis game, dude. Vlasic and Labanc, dude. Longtime vets getting scratched on this roster.
Yep.
Whew. I mean, Labanc, again, I go back to the idea of, like, I don't understand how he's not balls to the wall in a contract year. Vlasic, maybe you just kind of go, hey, dude, he got his bag. He has his 3-team in NTC. Like,
yeah.
I'm very much kind of like, and you've heard me say this before, let him be the highest paid 70 in the NHL. I don't care. 3 more years and we're done with this, right about the time that the Sharks should be turning this ship around.
Yeah.
So
I fully support that.
All right. Well, top that for your 0. You're going Ferraro, aren't you?
But see, that's easy. If I just say Mario Ferraro, next question, like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Like, yeah, we got it. You know what I mean? But
say it.
If you, not him though, if you take him out of it, like, I'm having a hard time. I mean, I guess, and I hate to do it. Maybe this will be the Hero Zero bump in effect for coming in the week.
Oh, we love those.
I'm gonna say Philip Zadina. Yeah. Because and it's I'm gonna go, some longtime listeners will say, oh, jerk, that's just a crutch that you always use. Well, I'm using it again. Scoring chances are awesome, but at some point the scoring chances have to go in, right? And Zadina, he started the season really kind of well, you know what I mean? His first 7 games of the season, he had 2 or more shots on goal in 5 out of 7. And then since then, it's been consistently either 1 shot on goal or 0 shots on goal. More 1 than 0, so I'll give him props for that. Mm-hmm. But you started the season hot, flinging everything on net, and it got him 2 goals like in the first 3 games of the season. So I think he had 2 assists against the St. Louis Blues. Again, when you're at rock bottom, you can only go up from there.
True.
Take these 2 assists against the Blues. You won. You factored in, and it was awesome. You got 4 games coming up. Shoot the puck as much as you can. Put everything on net. It's going to go in at some point. And establish yourself as someone who can be on this team beyond this year.
God, I would hope so. Because through 17 games, Chief is a -15.
Right. And this is the shitty things about the Sharks, right? Is you look at players if you look at players like within the scope of the Sharks, like, oh man, this guy's our best player. But you look at them within the scope of the NHL, and it's like, wow, our best player is terrible.
You know it. All right. So something came up in my head earlier this week that I just thought was funny where
sure.
And this Ian Reed might feel seen.
Who?
He might feel seen in this next comment. And this isn't directed to Ian any way, shape, or form. We just know his love of hating goalies.
Sure.
But I thought it was kind of funny that Blackwood and Kähkönen have similar save percentages. They're both sub 900, as you can see in the scroll, but kind of close to what Reimer and Hill had. And Reimer and Hill, we shit on terribly It was, oh, these guys suck and blah, blah, blah. And if they could just make a fucking save. And today, Blackwood, or as we say, Black and Cack, we're all going, it's not their fault. It's just funny to me, like Black and Cack have played well, but sub 900 save percentage, not what do they say, NHL average.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just funny that we're really, if anything, we're carrying their water a little bit, going, oh, if they just had a better team in front of them.
Well, and I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head, dude. So, the Sharks, like and what you're saying, like I've seen it exactly the way that you've laid it out. But here's something to chew on. This year compared to last year, the Sharks are scoring 1.5 less goals per game. Right?
Easy. And that's just from the defensive, that's from the blue line.
Right. And so with last year specifically, while the Sharks, the Sharks only scored 2.8 goals a game last season, which is definitely not good enough to be a good team. But it is good enough in some cases to maybe not win with shitty goaltending, but to hang in there with shitty goaltending.
Yeah.
And so you saw a lot of times where Reimer and Kähkönen, maybe the Sharks, they get 3 goals, and which in the new NHL 3 goals is not enough, but they get 3 goals and it's like, okay, well, Reimer or Kähkönen, they're going to let in 5.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, well, thanks a lot, bro. Whereas this year, the Sharks are only averaging 1.5 goals a game through 17. And, the goaltending, it also looks crisper than it did last year. Like, you take the statistics out of it and you just look at like what you observe on the ice, the fundamentals, the timing of saves, the timing of goals against, right? And it looks different. The stats might be very similar, but it looks better. It looks like it's trending in the right direction.
And let's be honest, dude. There's got to be a couple times this season, Blackwood or Kähkönen, and whoever's coming out goes, all right, let's see how this one goes. They got to just be like, woo, they're not coming out of the tunnel like, woo, gonna get me my shutout. It's like, oh boy, here we fucking go. Okay. Something else that should be noted, just because it was in the news, Nico Sturm taking a personal leave of absence for the next 2 games while the Sharks hit a road trip in the Pacific Northwest, right? Is it Vancouver and who? Seattle. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, Pacific Northwest. That's where you go. So,
which they always hit. I feel like the last couple of years, like, and this more than probably most, the Sharks consistently played the night before and the night after Thanksgiving at home. And it seems like, and maybe it has to do with the schedule balancing and division balancing and all that kind of stuff, but it seems like the last 2 or 3 years, the Sharks, well, obviously not the last 3 years, but actually, yeah, the last 3 years, because this is year 3 for the Kraken. It feels like the Sharks have played the Kraken on Thanksgiving Eve in Seattle every year since Seattle's been a team.
Yeah, and it used to be for the longest time the Sharks on Thanksgiving Eve would almost always host the Blackhawks.
Yeah, because around that time is when I believe the circus was in Chicago, I believe.
Not the circus that's playing as the Blackhawks right now.
Yeah, but not the circus that was running their organization in the early 2010s either.
So anyway, without Sturm for the next 2 games, I mean, what do you think it's going to look like down the middle? Who's going to take the reins centering that third line?
I think a lot of faceoffs are going to be lost.
Dude, because Sturm has been money in the circle, particularly over like the last 3 to 5 games. So that's going to be a kick to the smalls. But who do they slot into that spot, dude? I mean, you already have Hurdle, of course, top, and then Granlund, who. But I mean, who do you bump up, or do they bring somebody? Do we see Bordelot get a call up?
So I don't necessarily like this idea, but I do think on some level it might make sense.
Okay, Knizhov at center?
No. Unless they run 7D, which you said earlier.
Labanc Center.
do we? I know that line has been humming, so I don't even like to put it in the universe that it could break up. But is it at all possible that maybe William Eklund gets another chance at center? I don't like the idea, but I think it is something that people want to know.
I mean, I see what you're saying, and you know, like I'm picking up what you're throwing down, but
pick it up.
But how many podcasts do we do? Where it's like, why isn't Eklund playing with fucking Hertl?
Right. No, and I'm totally with you. Like, I think it would be a stupid decision, but I do think people in the organization, rightly or wrongly, it is a question they want answered. You know.
But like it, dude. Again, I'm picking up what you're throwing down. Like, it is an interesting option. Like, at least you could, you know, Eklund. I mean, if they bring Gushchin back, I haven't seen anything come down on the wire. But if they bring Gushchin back, I mean, yeah, I mean, Eklund, Gushchin, Declare, and maybe you put Zadina up there with Hertl and Zetterlund.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
shift Granlund down with, you know, Kunin and Hoffman or something.
Well, that's the thing about this Sharks roster, right? Is there's so many, especially at wing, there's so many similar pieces that, like, you really can shuffle just about anybody around and you'll get some kind of picture of clarity.
Oh, and Ian making a solid point too. Is I think the Sharks are going to have to make a ton of tough decisions as guys start coming off IR, because there are a lot. But I don't know if there'll be room to bring boards back up. And I mean, and that's true, dude. You got Couture, Barabanov, Benning, McDonald, Lindblom. Christ, although to be fair, as soon as Lindblom's healthy, I'm sorry, I'm sending his ass back to the Barracuda if I have any say.
Yeah, you would hope, right?
Oh, dude, great story, but has not manifested the ending we were all hoping for. Just like I'm out on the Lindblom story. Next. So let's get into some hockey related type talk. How do you feel about the women's league, PWHL, starting their league up with no names, no logos, the most boring jerseys you've ever seen? They all look the same with the exception of colors, but it's name of the city, vertically, or that, you know, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, if you will, the Rangers style. But that's Toronto, Ottawa. What do you understand how much revenue is generated from merchandise sales? How do you start up a league with no names, no logos, no swag to push? If you go back to 1991, if memory serves, I think Puck Guy is listening. If memory serves, I'm pretty sure the Sharks were like second or third in merch sales over all the big four sports before they had even played a fucking game.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, and the first question you said was, how do you feel about the women's league? I'm hyped for the women's league.
I'm hyped for the women's league. I just don't get how you start with, like, could this be more bland?
Yeah, it is certainly a choice. Like, I do think, especially with the players,
fucking wrong choice.
Especially with the players that are, you know, have joined a lot of the teams. Like, I know I'm really, like, one of my favorite female players is Marie-Philippe Poulin. She's on the Montreal team, and it's like, I would love to, like, even if it's just a shirt, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to get something.
Hell yeah.
And
at this point, dude, half the league is going to have to open up OnlyFans account to support this. Like, come on. Give us some merch, man.
I just think there was kind of a surge of excitement right when it was announced, because, you know, the need to get a women's league has been, to get a
long overdue
league, I should say. It's been a long fight with, you know, conflicting leagues and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't know how, like, you don't start right from the top, right? Where it's like, hey, we're going to announce the new league, announce the new teams. And it's like, here's all the awesome merch to come out right away, you know?
Yeah. This is like the worst launch ever. And even the, what was it, that what are they calling the women's soccer team that's going to play at where the Earthquakes play?
Bay FC.
Yeah, Bay FC. Even when they came out, they just announced it. Was there a name at that point? I don't remember seeing a logo. They didn't even know where the fuck they were going to play it when they made their announcement. Like, right. How do you not have this stuff dialed in? Come on, people. Speaking of merch sales, though, can we talk about the Winter Classic jerseys that were leaked by a wrestling channel? Like, it was Utah Jazz, and what kind of guerrilla marketing bullshit was this?
Well, so here's what it is. I know a lot of people were saying, like, oh, the left hand's not talking to the right hand. What happened? Da, 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 da. I think it happened exactly the way it was supposed to.
Where they were just going to dribble it out in like through channels that nobody had a fucking idea would happen?
No, because here's the thing. Let me ask you this question. If you're the NHL and you're trying to attract new fans, wouldn't you go to people not actively or currently watching your sport?
Absolutely.
If you go to a hockey game, if you go to a hockey game and you say, "Hey, who wants to be a hockey fan?" and it's like, "Yeah, dude, we're already all hockey fans here." But if you go to a basketball game, if you go to a wrestling show, there's a good chance that at least half of those people are not hockey fans. And so you say, what the hell? So if you're a Utah Jazz fan or you're a wrestling fan and you see this, you're like, okay, what the hell are they wearing? And then you look it up. Oh, hockey. Okay. Winter Classic. Oh, they're building an ice rink on a baseball field. I got to check that shit out.
Yeah, but the Utah Jazz?
Dude, hey, whatever works, man.
Well, but it made me wonder. Right? Well, no, the thing about the Utah Jazz is I wonder if like they chose Utah just because, well, they don't have a hockey team yet. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, if you really want
they're trying to make inroads,
maybe inroads, but it's just the fact of they don't want to say that they had a member of the Denver Nuggets, or you had LeBron James and one of the don't think like the Avalanche or the Kings would be like, excuse us.
So what if I told you?
Bring it.
And now, granted, I don't think it's a very deep tie, but what if I told you that the owner of the Utah Jazz has ties to the Pacific Northwest?
That's fine.
Maybe he watches Kraken games in his spare time.
Sure. And that's all well and good. But again, I feel like the Jazz were chosen simply because that market doesn't have an NHL team, maybe would like an NHL team. Makes you wonder why the Vegas one wasn't debuted by a member of the Houston Rockets, if you know what I'm saying.
No, and I hadn't considered that, but it is a pretty solid point to make. I think especially
3D
especially in the case of Utah, right? Because again, going back to making new fans, like if there is some kind of conspiracy theory to put the NHL in Utah, it might be nice to kind of prime up, those constituents for professional hockey.
All right. I will say one of the people that took a look at the Vegas jersey, they're like, why does it look like there's two middle fingers at the top of each V?
Okay. All things aside, now I'm gonna ask this: we in agreement the Kraken one is better?
Is it even up for debate?
Okay.
But like the Kraken, when you look at it immediately, like if you know the history and you've seen a Metropolitans jersey, you go, totally get it. Like, to me, to be quite honest, tell me you didn't think the same thing. You looked at that and you're like, that was the reverse retro idea they didn't go with.
Right.
Like, does that not scream reverse retro?
It absolutely does.
So that's the thing. I looked at it and I'm like, oh, easy peasy. I looked at the Vegas one and I went, what in the fuck is this?
Well,
I don't even get it. Dude, even Ken over at Sinbin is like, this is fucking terrible.
Well, and Vegas, I feel like Vegas ran before they could walk with their first reverse retro jersey, where it was the design of the Las Vegas Thunder and the color scheme of the Las Vegas Wranglers. Like,
was that the red one?
That was the red one. Like, to
Yeah.
me, like, okay, your franchise does not have a lot of history, so why not go through for the history of hockey in your city? And like their first reverse retro jersey, like perfect for reverse retro, also would have been perfect for a Winter Classic jersey.
Yeah,
And so,
time.
and it would not be very capitalist of them, but I was almost thinking like, why not just bring that one back for this game?
Yeah, in a different color scheme.
Sure. Maybe flip it. Maybe do the Wranglers design with the Las Vegas Thunder colors.
There you go. Yeah, because this is
I'd want to do some
hideous.
And I don't want to say, because for all I know, I could be totally wrong. Like, for all I know, this design could be inspired by some kind of Las Vegas hockey history. Like, I would want to do the research and definitively say one way or the other. But the Las Vegas history that I'm familiar with doesn't feature a jersey looking like this. But I could be wrong.
It's just so fucking bland. Ryan is saying the Kraken one sucks because the colors don't gel with the Metropolitans template.
That's the point.
Yeah. So I have no problem with it. I think the Vegas one is fucking horrible. But let me ask you this. Why is the NHL shield so low on both of these? Why aren't they up at the collar like they normally are? That was the first thing that jumped out to me when I saw these. I'm like, how is that shield not up in the gold part of the collar of the Vegas one?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, whip it out.
Do you remember? So you remember when the last season of the Reebok jerseys were?
Sir,
2016, 2017.
There you go. Oh yeah, because they flipped in the middle of it, right?
No,
I thought they flipped in the middle. Like there were jerseys that were Reebok in 2017 or whatever, like up through like December, and all of a sudden the next game they were rocking fucking Adidas.
No, so
you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of that damn Centennial patch.
Yeah, the Centennial patch. Yeah, it was worn in a calendar year as opposed to a season.
Yeah.
So the final year of Reebok was 2016, 2017. But if you recall, for the World Cup of Hockey, the NHL, for lack of a better term, beta tested the Adidas jerseys during the 2016 World Cup of Hockey.
Oh, dude, you remember? So, you know that Burns one I got.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
So even though this is the final year of the Adidas contract, is it and I don't know, maybe there's some kind of legalities that would prevent that. Is it at all possible that with the Winter Classic, the NHL is going to beta test the Fanatics jerseys?
God, I hope not.
I hope not too.
Either way, though, I still want to know why the shield is so much lower. But
no, but that's my point. Is maybe they're lower because that's how the Fanatics jerseys are going to be.
Fuck.
No, I agree. I agree with your sentiment.
Yeah, but you look at it, especially the one on the Vegas one on the girl. You look at that flare out, and I'm like, yeah, it looks like a fucking dress, like the thing that we've been complaining about since the takeover of Adidas. Puck guy coming in says, according to Creamer, Mr. Sports Logos, the Vegas one based off what a Vegas army would be like in the 1910s. Dude, you would have been defeated handily.
That seems like a... I mean, I get what they're going for based on that, which is fine, but it seems like...
I just can't believe that this was the design that won out. You know what I mean? Like, there had to have been more than one. And somehow this is the one that they went, yeah, this looks good.
I will say this. I'm not a fan, but it's not the worst jersey I've seen.
I would wholeheartedly disagree and debate you on that. This might be the blandest, worst jersey I've ever seen. I would wear the V-neck Vancouver jersey before I would wear this.
Well, see, now that's a nice jersey, so now you're just making stuff up.
Oh, see, I think that jersey's fucking horrible.
If you remember our jersey talk from 3 years ago, Joe, go check it
out. But either way, this, I think we're both in agreement that this was some bizarre, warped guerrilla marketing from the NHL to try to sell their sport to other audiences.
Right, and I think it's really genius, actually.
Genius, but just, I don't know, really weird that there was no pomp and circumstance, that it just came out of nowhere. Even aesthetics and Sports Logos were just like, wait, what? They were, 2x4 across the nose on this. They're like, holy shit, what the fuck?
Gets people to talk about it.
Hey, and here we are. And when it comes to merch sales, I guess the Ducks are now deciding to advertise or market themselves to it's always 75 degrees outside, and we're going to embrace puck bunnies. I'm
Come
sorry,
on.
dude.
Don't say puck bunny. Come on.
Well, yeah, but you know what I'm saying, dude. Look, we're going to start selling jerseys that are also crop tops.
Hey, you know what? Not everything's for you, right?
That is true. That is absolutely true. But when I saw this, I'm like, who the hell is cutting the bottom half of their jersey to make a top?
I mean, the woman on the right, it does look like hers is rolled up as opposed to cut.
You might be right, but let's be honest, dude. Nobody's wearing their shit like that. I'm gonna wear it all up. I was so cute, and pin it and blah blah blah. Come on, I've never seen anybody wear a jersey like that ever.
No, I never have either. But I mean, I think if you want stylistic independence or uniqueness, I think that's cool.
I don't know. I just saw this and I'm like, all right, who was the marketing squad on this one? I have to know. It's a choice. Certainly a choice. And and you can get away with this when it's always 75 degrees. So, great article that came out this week. I don't know if you caught it. LeBron on The Athletic says changes to overtime are being discussed, as if 3-on-3 isn't gimmicky enough already. So one of the changes that they were talking about is that they're really sick of the idea that whoever wins the draw once overtime starts, they take it back into their zone, they regroup. Sometimes, as you mentioned, Sturm, money on draws, maybe not the most offensive weapon in the toolbox, so maybe you use him to win that draw, and then he gets his ass right off to the bench, and you bring on an Eklund or whoever, right?
Right.
And you do that regroup thing, and you push forward, try to get a chance, blah, 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 blah. So one of the things they were talking about is making it so like you can't pass it. Like once you gain the offensive zone, if something happens, like you take a shot, but you regroup and, okay, we're not feeling it, we need to get a change, they'll pass it back to the neutral. They're saying, no. Once you've gained the offensive zone, you cannot purposely go back to the neutral.
Which I mean, you've heard me for 2 years. I hate that that's a thing. And I've tweeted multiple times, like, sorry to tell you, 3-on-3 sucks now. And it's become that, and it's because that's been like play one in the playbook.
Well, and you know what it reminds me of? Do you remember that game? And I'm sure Puck Guy, he has an incredible recall. He'll be the first one to tell you. What was the game? It was between, was Pronger involved? Wasn't it like Tampa Bay or St. Louis? One of those teams was involved, and they had some sort of play that they would run, and it had to do with the opposing team coming into their defensive zone, and then they would start to run whatever play it was, and finally the coach of another team said, no, we're just going to stack up in the neutral zone and wait for you to make your move.
Yeah.
And then it ended up being like, 2 minutes straight of guys just standing around and a shower of boos and jeers and what the fuck, let's go.
Yeah, it was Tampa Bay and Philadelphia, the one that comes to mind, where I believe it was Tampa Bay. They were doing like a 1-3-1 kind of setup in the neutral zone, and you're right. It was the idea of like, okay, like we're just gonna stand here unless you come and you come chase the puck. And yeah, it pissed a lot of people off because people want excitement, and when you're standing there doing nothing, it's not exciting.
Yeah. So my point is, it's like, was Tortorella with Tampa Bay at that point?
No.
Well, whoever it was, one of the coaches, the coach basically solved what they were doing, right? And I almost feel like teams have, they've solved the 3-on-3 thing. And it's just kind of like, well, how many times are you going to change this shit up?
Well, I don't think there's a problem with tweaking things, like I saw one of the suggestions was a shot clock, which I'm not the biggest fan of.
Yeah, dude, like a shot counter like they have in basketball where it's like, okay, you have 24 seconds to get a shot off. Like, are you serious?
the one idea that I did like, which was also pulled from basketball as well, is if after you cross the center ice line, if you take it back over the center ice line, it's
You give up possession.
Yeah, and I think that one is fine because the whole point of 3-on-3.
Dude, we're bringing back the fucking red line.
Well, I think in that context is fine because when you have something that is supposed to encourage scoring,
dude, Swift Shark, opposite. Dude, Swift Shark Conan hot, bro. $50, bro.
Wow.
Actually, AJ, the Sharks beat the Yotes all 3 times they played last season. No, they didn't. Or did I get it inverted? Is that what it was? I thought he said that he said I'm going to donate $100 when the Sharks beat or when the Yotes beat the oh, maybe he's right. When the Yotes beat the Sharks and the Sharks won all 3 times. Maybe that's okay. Maybe you got it. Okay. Hey, yeah. Dude, I love to be corrected. Real, facts matter. So, but dude,
shout out to Swift Shark. That's very nice of you.
Huge shout out, dude. Nevertheless, thank you guys for the great coverage. You do a fantastic job each week. Thank you, sir. That is so cool.
Shout out. That's rad.
That's so cool, dude. Dude, we held on to that screenshot for how many shows?
Every time you mentioned Arizona, it went up.
Dude, it was awesome. Bringing back. Oh, see,
we might have to do something.
You know what? Yeah, Swift Shark. You're getting a giveaway tonight, right? Jot that down, jerk. Ian saying bringing back the red line would, and then the comment left. Bringing back the red line would be the fucking worst. Breakaway, nope. Face off, so much more exciting. Yes.
Yeah, no, I agree. Bringing back the red line is an absolutely terrible idea. But I think in 3-on-3, if you're going to go backwards over the red line, I don't think it needs to be a stoppage. I literally think you do like street hockey rules where you just fire it into the zone and the other team takes it out.
Yeah, no, I'd be down with that. So that I'm fine with. But yeah, Swift Shark. Yeah, stick around. We're gonna get your information in some way, shape, or form. You're getting a fucking prize for that because that's like, dude.
But also comment on the side here, and if you do play and your entry is under a different name, then okay, my bad. But like, it appears as though you don't enter the giveaways. You should do that.
Oh yeah, Swift Shark, get in.
I encourage everybody to join. If you listen to the show and you don't enter the giveaways, I recommend that you do because and tonight's winners will tell you. It really is anyone's game.
Totally.
And you may have noticed how I said winners.
Yes, we have them. More than
winners.
One. Yes, we understand the plurality.
Hey, I know words.
The other really cool thing, though, that I'm totally here for, the change that they were touting is that if a team draws a penalty shot, and let's be honest, penalty shots, pretty rare in hockey. I mean, do we even average one a week? I don't think we do. Maybe three a month?
Dude, 3 a month is way too high if you ask me.
See? But the idea...
It might be 3 a season, honestly.
Oh, God. Is it that bad? So I would say 6 a season. Either way. Well, you know what? Let's just say 1 a month.
Sure.
Okay? So, but the proposal change. If a team draws a penalty shot, the team can choose anyone on the team to take it. So if you get like the worst guy on Edmonton takes a stupid, let's just for shits and giggles. And I'm not saying that Darnell Nurse is the worst, but I'm just saying for whatever reason, Nurse finds himself in a position, he gets a mini breakaway. It's enough, though, that he gets taken down. And, of course, in that situation, I could see whatever player having the opportunity to take him down because of Nurse on a break. He's, penalty shot. He's not going to score. But all of a sudden, it's like, oh, no. Okay, so McDavid, you're taking the shot.
Which that's kind of...
Dude, I love this idea.
It's a little bit
that's spicy.
It's a little bit like so in the Olympics, if a game goes to the shootout, after the first 3 shooters, you can send out whoever you want as many times as you want.
Well,
And that's kind of a similar, not quite the same, but sort of similar to what you're saying.
Well, eyes on your own paper, because that's what I wanted to do, was take this shit a step further and be like, you know what? Let's Team Chaos, baby. I know Ian is the president, but Team Chaos, baby. When it comes to the shootout, just fuck it. Just designate your best shooter versus their best shooter, best of 3. There you go. I think that would be hysterical. It's like, could you imagine if Edmonton and the Sharks go to a shootout, at least where we're at right now? It's like, okay, Hurdle versus McDavid, go. Best of 3. Good luck.
And the thing is, like, I don't, like, on its own, I'm not the biggest fan of that idea, only because it does sound gimmicky. But at the same time, the shootout is already gimmicky, so why not? You know?
Yeah, like lean into it, right?
That said, I think if we're putting a Band-Aid over a
mortal wound.
Yeah, like I think, and I don't know. I mean, I would love 10 minutes of 3-on-3 as much as the next guy, but
yeah, NHLP ain't going for that.
Well, not even necessarily that, but I just think, like, if you do, I think they would. But if you do 10 minutes of 3-on-3, guess what? It's going to be 10 minutes of dropping it back, not taking a shot.
That's going to be 5 more minutes of the same.
Right. That's why I think you have to do like the article is saying, if there is a change to be made, either the shot clock or doing like how basketball, they have a backcourt violation, like doing something like that.
But is this from the last time I looked? I thought the numbers said 67, 68, basically a little better than 2/3 of games that go to overtime are settled before it goes to the shootout. So it's like, is this a solution in search of a problem?
Yeah, I think it could be.
It's like, if 20% of the games were over in those 5 minutes, then I'd be like, okay, maybe it needs to be tweaked. But when 2/3 of the games are being completed in that 5 minutes, I'm going, there's not a problem here.
Right.
But
I don't know. But you recall last week I had said, like,
I'd be interested to see what the numbers are year over year over like the last 5 years. Like, is the number declining?
Right. I don't know. Like I was saying last week, dude, I don't know that I necessarily subscribe to the idea of every game needs a winner.
Well, yeah, but that's where we're at. That's the new NHL, dude. There's no tying in hockey.
Like, I think tying is fine. I think tying is more genuine than getting a victory because of a skills competition. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. But then again, we can go down the rabbit hole of, every game should be worth 3 points.
Right. Which, if it hasn't happened now, it's probably never going to happen.
Exactly. So let's move on to our tweet of the week. And this is a spicy meatball that kind of hits home. Curtis Pashelka, our chief numero uno beat reporter for the Sharks, threw out the tweet on the 7th that said tonight's announced attendance. This is following the game versus, who the hell we play the first game? Florida. Threw this out and said tonight's announced attendance, 10,074. Barely, I think, beating the what's the all-time? I have it written at 1059. So just barely beating the all-time worst attendance ever, which I'm on record right now. I think that's going to happen against Winnipeg here in a couple of weeks. But either way, Pashelka put, herd closer to 6,500. Former sports guy. I mean, if you ever watched pre-post a few years ago, I think it was before this. This was back in the days, and I know Puck Guy will keep me honest, but I think this was back in the days when it was CSN, Comcast Sportsnet. But it was back in the days when they would have Kevin Kurz on the panel from from time to time, but Ross McKeon would jump in there. But you see him tweeting, looks closer to 1,500. And it did. The fucking building looked empty. But Randy, we know him, we love him, but he decided to respond. The NHL announces tickets issued. Why do you keep harping on this point? Now, to be fair, Ross has only tweeted about this twice this season. We're on game 17. I don't know that I would call that harping. But let me finish with this is I wouldn't call that harping, but the other thing is there's been several times this season, last season, when Peshelka, and in fact Peshelka did it earlier this week, I believe, before the Florida game, before the game was even started, a few minutes before the puck drop, he tweeted out, looks like it's going to be one of those, quote, create your own energy nights. Clearly alluding to the fact that the barn was empty.
Right.
Shalana, friend of the show, has made similar type tweets. Neither of them have ever been called out by anybody. So I just thought, I don't know. I thought it was odd for Randy to, get in Ross's kitchen over this. Again, I don't think 2 tweets is harping on it, but the other thing is, who cares? Like we all knew this, winners, they sell out. Bad teams, for the most part, unless you're Toronto, right? You're
right.
Like ticket sales are going to go down when the team is not playing well. So I don't know. I didn't understand why it was such a big deal to tweet this. We all have eyes. We can all see that the barn is empty. It happens when they start winning again, when they're playing exciting hockey again, they're all going to come back.
Well, I just think it seems to me like, like Randy Hahn, like he's obviously being a company guy here, which I respect that. But at the same
I respect
time,
it. We love Randy. We love the whole broadcast crew, but like
some things just don't need to be said.
Exactly.
Ross, I know, Ross he's a journalist at heart. He's just pointing out the facts. Like you don't need to like you said, you don't need to get into someone's kitchen because they're sharing a fact that you don't like. Like just
let it go. Scroll on.
Just let what is it? Let sleeping dogs lie. Is that the phrase?
Mm-hmm.
Like who gives a shit? Like
yeah,
that'd be like if I went on Twitter right now and I'm like, man, AJ's wearing a burgundy sweater and you got mad about that. It's like I'm just stating a fact.
Yeah, it's like, he never wears burgundy. What the fuck's he wearing that for?
Yeah, like it's just
why do you care?
Yeah, who cares? Like if he's so concerned about it, like why didn't he buy some fucking tickets and give them away?
Right?
Like
well, and of note too, somebody else brought it up. I think I don't know if it was you. I don't know. Somebody had said like, they're like, didn't he get into somebody else's kitchen?
Yeah, you sent it to me. I don't remember who it was though.
No, but it was the Pittsburgh game. That one of the whoever does Pittsburgh hockey now or whatever, like takes a photo of the Marlowe banner, tweets it out and said, great guy, respect the history or whatever, still a bad trade for Pittsburgh.
And an objectively true thing.
Yeah. And here comes Randy saying, he only has this record and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, dude, you can just keep scrolling.
That's when if you're in a court trial, that's when your lawyer would say objection relevance. Like,
yeah, it's like Chief had an opinion. We all do. No one's saying that they're right or wrong or anything like that. But I don't know. It's just, again,
it hurts, dude.
That's the whole thing. It's like, look, I get it. You're paid by the team and you want to defend the team. That's great. But I think sometimes we just got to let it go. We can all see it. Gen X,
Who?
Our buddy Gen X, he, I can't remember which game it was. I think it was either Philly, might have been Florida, or he even like DM'd me and he's like, are you at this game? Because you might be the only one there. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's what's going to happen. When the Niners sucked, where they kept changing coaches and quarterbacks every year, they had that stretch, they sucked. And you know what? Weren't selling out. It's like, it happens. What's the big deal when you go, woof, well, super empty tonight.
You know what's funny though is similar to the Sharks, right? Like, and you made the point. There have been a couple eras like that for the Niners, right? But I think the one you're specifically referring to is like the early aughts, right? Early mid aughts, and
Yeah, it was post Mariucci. And it was like, they had what, Tim Rattay and JT O'Sullivan and who?
Yep.
Who's that? And who?
Right.
And,
But it's funny though, because like similar to the Sharks, right? Like you're saying like how like during these eras, like Niners games weren't super attended, which again is an objective fact.
Fucking Trent Dilfer? Jesus.
But you're gonna have a lot of people who like, wearing the Niners jersey, and they might, and it's usually it's gonna be like a Steve Young jersey, right? And they're gonna be like, man, I remember Mike Singletary, da da da, and it's like, okay, how many games did you go to that season? Like,
oh, dude, totally. And hold on, Ruby, you're not seeing me tweet. SSE would rather sell tickets to their employees instead of giving them away when home games are pretty much empty every game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and Jesse pointing at Tom Sula. Ugh. All right, for Niners throwback, everybody. But dude, and Martin Jeffries, have the Giants sold out every game since 2014? No! Not even fucking close. And there's even been times where Kruk and Kipe, it's a Wednesday with a 12:30 start, fucking end of July versus a shitty Rockies team. And it's, well, we're out here at the ballpark, plenty of seats available if you got nothing literally better to do, like they've called it, because we all have eyes. We can all see. There's a lot of seats available. And then, look, just some matchups, they draw and some don't. I thought it was silly to even get into that whole thing, because we're a more educated fan base than we were 20, 25, 30 years ago. And so the fact that people are going, I don't understand why people aren't here. Have you seen the fucking win-loss record? Have you looked at the roster? It's 5 years ago. It was, back 2019. It was, Jesus Christ, Brent Burns, Eric Carlson, Joe Pavelski, Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, Logan Couture, Tomas Hertl, Marc-Édouard Vlasic. I mean, you had this laundry list of names that you could market.
Stacked, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Where are we at today? It's Tomas Hertl and
should be William Eklund.
Should be.
As we talked about a couple weeks ago, the marketing team is not up to task.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
We're not there.
It's funny. It's funny that my mind is totally turning on this Niners point that you brought up. I'm laughing that you mentioned.
Check the fucking hoodie, baby.
I'm laughing that you mentioned JT O'Sullivan, dude. That guy had 14 games with the Niners and threw 11 picks, and he had the audacity. I remember this. I think I was only 13 at the time, but I remember this. He had the audacity to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm really struggling because the headset in my helmet is fucked up." And it's like, dude, you've thrown 11 picks in 14 games.
Yeah,
like, get a new fucking helmet.
Well, dude, yeah, it's the headset. It's
right.
You can't hear the play. Did you see the open receiver? Did you hit him?
Yeah.
Shut up.
You totally brought me down a rabbit hole with you mentioning JT O'Sullivan.
I'm telling you. Oh, all right. So we move on from the tweet of the week to that other team in San Jose.
Ooh, Barracuda.
All right. Was not a good week for the Barracuda. Played a pair. Did they play on Tuesday as well, or am I like inventing shit in my mind?
Ooh, yeah, that sounds right.
I thought. Well, didn't they play 2 in Calgary last weekend?
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry. It was last Sunday, and then it was just Friday, Saturday. So you might just be making it up.
Okay.
2 losses against the Eagles, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, at least one came in overtime last night. I was there. It was fun. But yeah. Oh boy, just keeps getting worse for the Eagles. They still are 9th. At least the last time I checked, they might have fallen to 10th. They clearly need to find a win streak, dude. There's all this talk we've seen on social media If you want to invoke ignorance, that's fine. But there's been a lot of talk with the Sharks over the first 15 games. Oh, Quinn needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
We need a new fucking coach. Completely ignoring the fact that this team just lacks talent.
Right.
How is it that we're not, well, okay, I think I know the reason why. It's just because people just aren't invested in the CUDA. But for the people who are, how are we not seeing a group of people shouting from the rooftops, Johnny Mac needs to go?
Yeah. I mean, especially because this is the second year in a row where on paper the Barracuda have been expected to be like just a wagon, and also the second year in a row that they've fallen well short of that,
This is what I'm saying. I don't understand why there aren't big calls for Johnny Mac. Like, granted, I was at the CUDA game last night. I don't know that there was more than 1,000 people there. Not a single sign up saying, new coach, Spanish Archer for Johnny Mac. I don't know. I think the CUDA would be better served with a new bench boss, maybe one that has some ability, some, shall we say, experience in developing players at that level. Perhaps a Jay Woodcroft, like maybe. I think I would like that, but it is what it is. As you know, the new Pucknologists for this season, we don't go too far down the Barracuda hole. I don't even know who the hell they're playing this week, but what I do know is that this past week, Ian Reed spoke with voice of the Barracuda, Nick Nolenberger, along with Kevin Lacey. Had a nice talk for about an hour or so. We loved catching up with him. So if you want to learn more about the CUDA, make sure you roll it back on this YouTube channel. Make sure you hit up that talk, listen to what's going on there. And if you want to keep up to date on, who's that cat with the London Knights? That's
Haltonen.
Yeah, Haltonen. He's lighting it up. Didn't Musty pick up a 2-gamer?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell did he do? I know he got sat for a couple games. He did something stupid. But either way,
there's still, even in spite that though, there's for once, right? It feels like there's a lot of excitement,
Oh, you're definitely hearing the names.
And Jules is tweeting a bunch about him too, which is awesome.
Jules, our buddy Marc-Édouard, Lacey, of course, doing live tweeting on the prospects and when he's at CUDA games, and of course Ian Reed sharing those gifts whenever he can from the CUDA game. So you want to keep up to date with what is happening on at the prospect level and that group. Follow them on the Tweety. Of course, you can find it all on Teal Town USA, and even Puck Guy throwing it in it. What's his Cagnoni?
Yeah, for Portland, he's been playing really well too. He's well over point per game with Portland.
This is Winterhawks
too. Yep.
Oh shit! You go.
Yeah, he's at last check. I think he's at something. It's something crazy. It's like 25 and 20 or 25 and 15. It's something crazy. Like he's just on a rip right now.
That's nice. And
26 and 16. That's what it is.
But bad news on the prospect level. Didn't Marc-Édouard just get sent to Wichita?
Yeah, but I think that's more conditioning than anything else.
All right. But hey, we're just, you know what? We're not saying it's good or bad. We're just saying it is. That's what we saw. To go back to something we were talking about a few minutes ago. We're not saying it's good. We're not saying it's bad. We're just saying, hey, it's something that happened. But damn, there are some interesting names. I'm excited to see what this team looks like once Vlasic is off of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 3 years.
Yeah, I absolutely know.
3 years from now, it's going to be fun. I'm not saying don't go and support him now. Absolutely go do it. But, and Ian pointing out, yeah, Marc-Édouard conditioning stint. So there you go. All right, prize time, baby. Now that we're 90 minutes in, let's roll. What the hell was the question last week? We come up with them in the heat of the moment, and then I fucking forget about them before I go to bed that night. So what was it?
The question was how, between the game against Florida and the game against St. Louis, how many shots combined will the Sharks block?
Ah, yes. And how many were there?
So there were 22 against Florida and 21 against St. Louis. And if you're doing the math at home, that's 43.
And who was it? There was somebody like halfway through the second game that like tweeted and said they'd already lost the contest or whatever.
Yeah. So and I mentioned it. I do want to say, and
we had multiple 43 guessers.
We had 2 winners, and I do want to give a shout out. It's a name that I only started recognizing this season, but they've played in every giveaway since this season has begun. Laura's guess was so close. They were feeling a bit cheeky, and they said 42.8.
Hell yeah, dude.
And unfortunately, 42.8 is not 43. I'm so upset that wasn't it.
Dude, that's close enough for me.
But we had 2 winners, and so there were 2
nailed
people
it at 43. Hell yeah!
Winner number 1 is Sean Rashkes. I hope I'm saying that right. And if you recall, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Sean Rashkes last year was the winner of the 49ers jersey.
Oh, awesome! Dude, I'm so happy you're keeping track of this.
Yeah, and winner number 2, which I think this one made it really interesting. Winner number 2 is Brandon Workman, who, if you remember from 3 weeks ago, was the fake winner of Mystery Box 1.
Oh, that's right.
The one who originally won, and then because of my stupid math error, did not win.
Oh shit! And fuck, what did we send them? Because I don't want to send them the duplicate thing.
I'll send Brandon an email and ask what you sent, and then see if we can't get that changed. But,
yeah, we don't want to send them like some fucking 13 hurdle bobbleheads.
Right, but 2 winners, Brandon and Sean. So
hell yeah,
awesome.
All right,
Love
so
that.
two winners from last week. So you have to do we get the winner from the previous week?
Yeah, it was Bozosaurus. I don't know if you checked the sheet or not, but their shipping address is on there.
Okay. So I saw Bozo in here earlier. So yeah. All right. So dude, I'm feeling really good about the giveaways so far. How many Pucknologists have we done since the start of the season? Like, is this our 5th one?
This week, if you count the season preview, which I do.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't, because we didn't do a prize on that one.
Fair. Okay, so not counting the season preview, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tonight is show number 6.
Yeah, so 6 of these. Wiener is a wiener. Hey, there's Bozosaurus right there in the chat. Dude. So 6 of these we haven't had. Until Brandon. What's his name?
Brandon Workman.
Yeah. So Brandon. Okay, so that's a double winner.
Technically, I mean,
I was like, yeah, dude, that was because of your mistake. But we're not going to fanatics this shit and make you give us money to fix our mistake.
Right? Yeah, that was like I originally thought he won, and then he ended up not winning. So,
but we still hooked him up,
right?
Because that's how we are,
right? And I still think both winners this week deserve a prize.
Fuck yeah,
okay,
dude, they nailed it. Yeah, I'll give it to you.
So I wanted to smooth that out before I sent out the email being like, hey, you won, give me your address.
No, that's awesome. So
yeah,
killer. So we got one for you for Thanksgiving week coming up, of course. As we do, we hope all of you have a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving this coming Thursday. We all gonna have the little turkey, little stuffing, little tater. What's your go-to? What's your jam, dude? Is it the yams? Is it the pumpkin pie? What's the thing that you're looking forward to the most to put on that plate?
Well, I think a better question is, what are you not looking forward to?
Okay, I mean, some people they look at that cranberry and they're like, "Fuck you," everything else is good except the cranberry. And you know what? As we're about to close this show out, I'm going to ask this to all the lovely people joining us tonight, spending your Sunday nights with us. We appreciate that. Do us a favor, please subscribe. But I want to know, what is the thing you're least looking forward to on your plate this coming Thursday? Are you not a stuffing fan? Are you? Some people like to stuff the turkey with oysters.
So this might be controversial.
Say it, baby.
I am not, and I can already wait. Like, I'm going to say it and then give it 15 seconds and the chat will catch up and it's going to blow up. I am not a mashed potatoes guy.
Real? How do you fuck that up?
Right.
Oh,
so
hold on. I'm sorry. Before you get there, and this is on me. And Brett, I'm so happy that you pointed this out. For the Halloween show, AJ, he called off my Halloween outfit first as Dante from Clerks, and he was supposed to win something. So, Brett, do me a favor. If you have a Twitter account, hit up Jerk on the Tweety. You can see his handle right here at hockey_jerk. If you don't have Twitter, email him, hockeyjerk10@gmail.com, and put your name in there. Brett, put what you just wrote in the chat here that said, I won the Halloween stream guessing AJ's costume. Send me my shit. Literally, because that's what it was. So anyway, I'm sorry. So you're not a Tater fan.
No, so here's
dude, Ruben's calling you out, bro.
So let me walk you through this. Let me walk you through
Ruben's
what's
calling
gonna
you
happen.
out.
So I'm gonna get my plate. And yeah, Brett, I'm sorry. I get so many emails. I usually am just looking for the number. But I'll go back and see if I can find it.
There you go.
So
sorry, Brett. What, dude? Well, we're definitely gonna hook you up, dude. Might be a little late. Might be, we might fanatics this shit, but we'll still get you.
Yeah. Let me see.
Oh, thanks, dude. Puck guy with the fucking. All right, we're doing power rankings for Thanksgiving sides.
Yep. Okay. Brett, I just found your email. I'm gonna put you on the sheet for AJ to see, and we will get you taken care of. Yeah. Have no fear.
We got you, bro. And so thanks for pointing that out, Brett. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, of course. So here, let me walk you through it.
What are you hitting when you're walking around the buffet?
So, and this is in no particular order. I'm just going to kind of throw out what I'm going to get.
Okay.
So, obviously, I think it goes without saying, turkey.
Yeah. And
so there's kind of so every year we go to my aunt's house, and it's me. Among the all of us, there's 5 cousins. It's me, my brother, and then we have 3 cousins. And so for years, like since we were kids, right? It was like every year it was like, okay, whose turn is it for the turkey leg? And it was like, okay, one, and so obviously there's 2, right? And so one year it'll be, you 2, one year it'll be you 2, one year it'll be you 2, da 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 da. And people's desires, people's interests, they evolve over time. Oh, you know what? I'm not really a turkey leg guy anymore. I'll just whatever. And so through all this time, I mean, we've been going to their house for Thanksgiving for 15 years. And
there's a point in here somewhere, right?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
I'm painting the picture for you. We've actually gone. This show is not taking as much time as normal, so we have some extra time here. So through me, my brother, and our 3 cousins.
All right, go ahead. I'm getting a beer. Keep going.
I'm the only. Well, you got to hear this. This is important.
I can still hear it.
I'm the only one who has survived the story? I'm the only one who's kind of survived in the who wants the turkey leg.
I'm the only one that survived this
game.
Story.
So every year it's kind of an unspoken rule. My aunt always says, "Okay, turkey leg, here you go. It's right on the side for you. Go ahead and grab it whenever it's your turn." So turkey leg, of course. Then get some cut meat as well. So obviously turkey, a nice helping of turkey. Stuffing. I'm a big stuffing guy. I think I probably of all
done
of us.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah, I think of all of us who go to Thanksgiving, I think I probably like stuffing the most. My aunt knows this.
Dude, there's nothing worse than bad stuffing.
Totally. And my aunt knows this too. So I'll just fuck it up with stuffing, and she knows, you know what I mean? She knows that it's going to get eaten, so she doesn't trip about it.
Stuffing, a little extra gravy, fuck yeah.
Corn, I'll get corn too.
Yep.
Some years it's canned corn, some years it's on the cob. I don't discriminate. I like both.
Hell yeah.
And then those are kind of my big 3. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not a mashed potato guy, I'm not a green bean casserole guy. So and then from there, because it's a lot, I will say. But then, from there it's like loaded up on the rolls. You know what I mean? Give me a couple white, give me a couple wheat. Have a nice spread, really kind of get after it. Last couple of years, I've taken a nap on my aunt's couch to kind of recover. I fully plan for that to be in the itinerary again. And then my cousin, every year she makes homemade pumpkin pie, so I'm gonna get after that too. And it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be off the hook.
Shark, dude.
I know, and people are memeing on me right now. But here's what you have to understand. Here's what you need to understand: is Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, and so every year that it comes around, I'm like ready to go. Yes, mac and cheese, Twansky, Toonsky, however you say it, Twansky. Mac and cheese is not a staple every year at Thanksgiving. It's kind of like a rotating side, but when it's there, man, we get after it.
Dude, I'm waiting for you to go like full Adam Sandler. Turkey.
Dude, somebody's gonna have to remind whoever is listening.
Who?
Around Thanksgiving, send me a note on Twitter. I will take a picture of my fucking spread right before I get after it, and I will post it out.
Hell yeah, dude.
Because that's what I'm doing. I'm here for the fans.
I gotta say, dude, I kind of love it all, dude. Like
that's the best way to go approach it,
dude. My fam, it's the turkey, the stuffing, the gravy, the taters, the sweet taters, the cranberry, the pumpkin pie,
apple pie.
Sometimes we do both. In fact, my wife, the sister is doing pumpkin. My wife is doing cherry apple pie.
Okay.
And it's
both are a fixture every year, but I'm definitely pumpkin guy.
No, I got to go both.
Okay, that's right. Hey, dude, even better.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
See,
but and of course, just even a little side salad, maybe a little Caesar or something, because
sure.
Little we call that the appetizer, if you will. But yeah, I'd be hard pressed to find something from Thanksgiving. There's one thing that they will either my sister-in-law or occasionally my wife, if she gets on the hook, is the green bean casserole.
Mm-hmm.
I still dig it, but it's one of those things. Like if you put all the things that you typically have on a Thanksgiving, like you have to cut one, it'd probably be the green bean casserole.
Yeah,
but,
and the thing is, I like green beans.
I love the green bean casserole, but on
like
Thanksgiving,
5 things more.
Yeah, dude, I needs my turkey, needs my stuffing, needs my taters, needs my sweet yams, and all that shit. Fuck yeah.
I got to be honest. Like I'm as soon as the calendar flipped to November, I was excited for Thanksgiving, and the fact that this week is coming up, the fact that we are talking about it, I'm so hyped. Like I cannot wait.
Oh, dude, and we're that much closer. See, the fun thing that we should also point out is that next Sunday on the Pucknologists, we will be at the quarter pole, 21 games played. And I think we're all at that point looking forward to the NHL website putting the little E next to the Sharks, officially eliminated.
Wow. Okay. Ramon Garcia with a controversial take. We might need to open an investigation.
Yeah. Say it.
That ham better than turkey is that's a choice.
No. Hold on. If we're saying ham is better than turkey on Thanksgiving, I disagree. Overall, the other 364 days of the year, I probably would agree with Ramon.
Let me ask. Fair enough. Okay, let me ask you another question while we're on the topic.
Yeah.
When it comes to, and I'm going to say pumpkin pie just because I am a pumpkin pie guy, but use your imagination. Whatever pie you're going to be getting after on Thursday.
Yeah.
And just straight up, it's a pick 'em.
Say it.
Cool Whip, whipped cream, vanilla ice cream.
Oh, ice cream all the way, every time.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only right answer, dude.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
I will say this. Vanilla ice cream always.
But what kind of vanilla ice cream? Who's your manufacturer?
Oh, I don't fucking know.
Oh, no, that shit is key. Dude, Dryers.
Dryers popped into my mind just because that's the only brand that came to mind, but I'm not really a brand rep when it comes to ice cream.
Dude, Dryers.
Okay, fair enough.
It's huge.
But
okay, dude, I'm getting hungry. We got to get out of here.
For me, it's vanilla ice cream always. Whipped cream, like Whipped cream is your backup goalie.
Who's your e-bug?
The e-bug is nothing. I would rather have nothing than
Cool Whip?
Cool Whip.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, dude.
Cool Whip is...
Hold on, you're actually pronouncing that incorrectly. It's
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Yeah,
Cool
Whip.
Whip.
Cool Whip is not on my active roster.
Cool Whip. Anyway.
Cool Whip is not on my active roster.
So let's get back to the fucking prize we're doing this week. We went down a goddamn rabbit hole for Thanksgiving. All right, so
this week's question: how many plates will Hockey Jerk eat at Thanksgiving?
How many pounds of turkey is
dude? No,
Jerk gonna fucking plow?
Okay, I've got kind of a.
Fuck you! We're not doing it, but go ahead.
No, just okay. So for those who don't know, I've been on a like a diet life journey the last 5 months.
Rock on.
Thursday morning and Friday morning, I will weigh myself both days. How many pounds will I gain from Thursday to Friday?
Oh man,
that's more of a joke. Obviously, it's gonna be hockey related.
Oh, for Pete's sakes! All right, we gotta go. So this Thanksgiving week, the Sharks are playing. Keep me honest. 4 games, right?
Vancouver, Seattle, Montreal, Vancouver.
Oh, that's right. Seattle, Montreal sandwiched between a pair against Vancouver. Montreal, of course, being the fun game that's going to be played on Black Friday at 12:30. That is Dan Rusanowski Day. So
rumor has it I might be at that game.
Oh shit! Don't tease me, motherfucker. Let a brother know. Let a brother know.
With the jerk bump, you know what that means.
Uh-oh. Does that mean Rusanowski's getting a hat trick that game?
Shark money line.
All right. So 4 games this week. We're doing, because it's Thanksgiving,
yep.
we're giving out the hat trick prize pack. What does that mean? That means the box that includes the Hurdle bobblehead, the Sharks lunchbox, and the Uprising jersey, and even over here, I'm pulling them out. Hold on. There's a lot of them. All right, one of these autographed signs, Sharks territory. I don't know. There's a lot of autographs on this particular one, as you can see, and there's some autographs on this one. You can contact Puck Guy. He is the master of knowing everybody's signatures. There's this one actually on the bottom, signed by Long Beach native Matt Nieto.
Michael Molasses better win.
Yeah. Oh shit. We might have. Oh, do we have to put this off to the side for Molasses? But we also have a couple blank ones. But I know there's some other ones that are some older ones that are signed. This one, who was it? Oh, Nick Malosh.
Who?
However you want to say it. Jeffrey VL.
Hey, now.
You know, there's some good ones in here. Dude, Antoine Bibeau. Dude, I mean, we got some old school in here. Jake Middleton.
Ooh, nice.
You know, there's some decent ones in here. That one, not so much. Oh, Scott Reedy. Remember that fucking guy? So anyway, yeah, so this is the Thanksgiving prize hat trick prize pack. It will include one of these placards. So I can hear you saying to yourselves right now, AJ, just ask the fucking question already so I can email Jerk. Here it is. 4 games starting tomorrow, mañana, against Vancouver, in Vancouver.
Got to get the answers in quick.
Yes, in fact, those answers need to be in by 6 p.m. November 20th. All right. HockeyJerk10, HockeyJerk10 at gmail.com. It would be nice if in the subject line you put like Thanksgiving contest. Just saying.
If it's an unread email, I can put it together.
Yeah. So by 6 p.m. tomorrow, which is November 20th, your question, your mission, shall you choose to accept it, is to determine the closest without going over over 4 games, the combined time on ice Tomas Hertl will spend over those 4 games.
So Hertl's combined time on ice or average per game? I just wanna make sure I get it right.
Combined. So it's like if he plays 20 minutes against Vancouver and 19 against this team, but no. Your number is probably going to be somewhere in the ballpark between like 76 and 86. Okay?
Well, and here, would you like a
somewhere in that ballpark?
Would you like a little factoid to kind of maybe?
Hey, dude, butter my toast.
Yeah, just again, every week we kind of make a habit of like telling people what happened this week, just to kind of give them a ballpark.
Yeah, in the 2 games this week, what was his time on ice versus Florida? What was his time on ice versus St. Louis?
So it was 21-33 against the Panthers and 19-04 against the Blues. So if you combine them together, that's 40 minutes and 37 seconds in 2 games.
There you go.
That said, one of those games they were trying to tie it up. One of those games they were leading by a lot of goals. That's something to keep in mind. Also keep in mind, this is 2 games. We're asking about 4.
Exactly.
So whatever you're feeling, just if I can give you advice as a gambler, whatever comes to your mind first,
go with it.
Go with it.
Yeah. And Jesse's saying average time on ice this season for Hertl, 20:45. So you might want to just take that number, times it by 4, hope you get lucky.
Tiger sending me his entry in a decimal form, which means I have to convert it. That's annoying.
That's spicy. But you know what's really funny, though?
Tell me.
is Jesse L. saying average time on ice this season, 20:45.
Okay.
Would you like to talk to Jerk so far this season about the law of averages and how that's worked out for him?
It's terrible.
So, let's finish off the bets. Again, we already talked about the earlier bets. The Sharks, I think now 29 home games to go. And the Sharks need to win 6 more by 4 or more goals. I think we're feeling.
Wait, no. They need to score 4 more goals.
Yeah.
They need to score 4 goals in 6 games. Not win by 4, score 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, did I say that incorrectly? That's my bad.
I was going to say, because I'm going to lose if that's
no. But yeah, have to score 4 or more goals. Even if they lose 10-4, Jerk wins. So yeah, 4 or more goals over the remaining, if my math is right, 29 games.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. I still think I'm gonna get hosed in the attendance bet because they keep handing out free tickets that get counted. That's fine. But dude, December 12th, in a couple weeks, that game looks kind of ripe, dude. A Tuesday versus Winnipeg. And there's no promotion on the schedule to draw fans. I'm feeling like if I don't win it that night, I think I'm probably fucked. But I'm just saying. The other thing I wanted to ask you before we get out of here, because of your locale. Oh, and by the way, this is something funny to just share with the audience that happened last night. And if you're in here listening, or if you're listening on delay, thanks for saying hello. Appreciate that. But I was at Narrative Fermentations, no free ads, Narrative Fermentations before the Barracuda game. Brett and I are having a beer, sitting there shooting the shit, and dude comes by rocking Shark swag, and he is kind of walking by, and then he looks at me like it does a double take, stops, and he goes, "Hey, do you have a podcast?" And I'm like,
that's such an interesting way to ask.
Well, he's like, are you on a podcast? Do you have a podcast? And I'm like, doesn't everybody have a podcast at this point?
Which, if anybody knows you, that answer is a giveaway, because you always talk about how many podcasts there are.
Yeah, there's a bajillion. But I'm like, what? You don't have a podcast? What's yours? But anyway, he's Brett sold me out. He goes, yeah, he's Teal Town. Don't let him bullshit you. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, you'd listen? He's like, no, every weekend, every Sunday. And I'm like, oh, dude, I appreciate that. And the
Do
funny,
they enter the contest though?
Well, I don't know. I didn't ask him that, but you know what? The really funny thing is that I was with Brett, and he kind of like leans in. He goes, "Is this Hockey Jerk?" And I'm like, no, man, Jerk's in Vegas, bro. And he's like, this really isn't him? And I went, no, dude, it isn't. I'm like, I'd fucking tell you if it was. But either way, just a fun thing that happened. But going to the fact that you are in Vegas,
Correct.
I got to ask you, big vote came down with MLB that it's all approved that the A's can move to Vegas. I'm really hoping that all the people that need to, whether it's the mayor of Oakland and the San Francisco Giants or whatever, they all tell John Fisher to go, because he needs somewhere to play after this season. Their deal only goes through this year. They're still going to need 3 years to build the venue in Vegas.
3 years at least.
Yeah, minimum, because remember, they got to put the hotel around there too. You know, they got a lot of shit to do. So my thing being, they only have a deal to play at the Coliseum one more year. I'm really hoping that the mayor, and if the mayor says, nah, you know what, you're abandoning us, fuck you, we're abandoning you, kiss my ass, we'd rather leave this, you know, these like 18 acres empty than, you know, have to deal with your slimy ass.
Right.
And then they like walk up to the Giants and they're like, hey, you know, can we play in your park for 3 years while we cut you this fat check? And, you know, let's be honest, everybody loves money. You might just sit there and go, yeah, that's fine. Well, we love money. We'll take that. I'm kind of hoping that the mayor of Oakland and the Giants say, you know what? We'll make a deal with you. Obviously, it would be the mayor first, but I'll make a deal with you. Yeah, you can do that, but we're going to Cleveland Browns this shit. And for those of you who don't know, the franchise that were the Cleveland Browns, you know, in what, like the late 90s or whatever, they just fucking packed up their shit one day and moved to Baltimore and became the Ravens. Just like in middle of the fucking night. A bunch of U-Hauls, threw everything in the truck. We're out of here. But the thing is, obviously, because the Cleveland Browns franchise still exists, the city retained the name, the colors, everything about it. They said, no, you can go over there, but you need a new name and new uniforms and logos and all that shit. I'm really hoping that the mayor of Oakland says, oh, no, we will give you the Coliseum for free for the next 3 years. Only if we are able to keep Oakland Athletics, the name, the logo, the colors, all of that shit, all of that history stays here in Oakland. You can become the fucking Las Vegas Bats or Golden Glovers or the Las Vegas Golden Gloves, whatever. I hope that happens. But now that it's gone through, you're a Vegas resident. I mean, do you see anybody that's juiced about getting a leftover team? Because everybody's down with the Golden Knights because, quote unquote, Vegas born. Dude, every time I look on a Raider game, there's always more away fans than home fans.
Yeah, so I think the point that you mentioned about it being like a a relocated team as opposed to an expansion team, right?
Yeah.
My personal opinion, and I admit that like people I've talked to on the subject like don't even come close to an authority on public opinion, right? But from the people that I have talked to, it doesn't matter if it's an expansion team, a relocated team, whatever. The vibe that I've gotten is that people are not really...
They don't give a fuck, do they?
They don't give a fuck. Like, I think, and I was having this conversation with somebody else a few days ago, I think...
Brody about to make another video.
I think Vegas would be better suited getting either a basketball team or a soccer team before a baseball team.
Not only that, but it's got to be expansion. It can't be relocation.
I see, and I don't think that matters.
Oh,
I know. Like,
I feel like it does.
There is a pride that comes with like a team only having played in your city. I do respect that, but at the same time, the point you made about the Raiders, like when the Raiders came here, they sucked. Like the Raiders have not.
You know that
good.
they still suck.
No, but that's my point, is that they've never been good since they've been here, whereas the Golden Knights went to the final in their first season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, I still go back to the whole idea of, hashtag Vegas born versus, you're getting somebody's cast off.
Right. I just think, like I said, I don't think it matters what the circumstances. I don't think baseball is something that people are really interested in here, especially because, and I don't think it has a lot to do with baseball as much as it has to do with construction. People who live in Vegas are sick of construction.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely sick of it.
But I would also go to just the idea of the Raiders and the Golden Knights. When did they play? During months where it's really nice or a little chilly. Dude, I've been to Vegas in July. It sucks.
Well, and that's why they're talking about doing the retractable roof, which
that's never going to fucking happen.
Much.
It's not going to be a retractable roof, bro. It's going to be, they're going to be in a fucking dome.
Yeah, I just
dude, they're going to be in a new sphere.
Yeah, I just, like I said, I don't think it matters what the situation is. I just don't feel like there's an appetite for baseball here.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like, there's a minor league team here, the Las Vegas Aviators. I've taken in a couple of their games. They're quite exciting. But they're not the most attended games, and that's fine. I don't know. It feels like a team is moving to, specifically for the A's, it's like, oh, we're going to move here maybe because there's money involved or maybe because the television deal is really awesome, but like there's not really been a clamoring for it from a fan base. There's not a lot of, like, whereas with hockey, hockey has a history in Vegas, but it's not super mainstream. And so it's like, oh yeah, okay, hockey, cool, we'll see. And football, obviously, it was like, oh my God, we need football here. And
football
baseball
makes so much sense because it's like, you can see it literally. It just makes so much goddamn sense. It's like, oh, okay, Sunday. So it's like, what do? Fly into Vegas Saturday morning, go gamble, party that night, whether, go, depending on who you're with. It's like, oh, we can have a very nice meal. Maybe we can take in a show. Or if it's you and your homies, you're like, titty bar, And then you get up the next morning and say, yeah, fucking football, blah, blah, blah. And then you're on the fucking plane home by like 7:00 that night. And you just have a wild, fun football weekend. Like, that totally makes sense. I just don't see somebody, hey, did you know that, fans of the Minnesota Twins, like in the middle of July, hey, the Twins are playing in Vegas this Tuesday. Want to fly to Vegas on a Tuesday? Give me a break.
Well, flying to Vegas on a Tuesday would actually be pretty cheap. But,
it'd be cheap, but you get what I'm saying.
Not everybody's ready for the weather.
Yeah, like, fuck off. But the other thing I wanted to ask you, dude, I've just been seeing article after article about F1 just absolutely destroying Vegas. Did that happen this weekend, or is it next weekend?
The main race was last night, so it's
that goes to show you how well they promoted it. I had no fucking idea when it was happening.
Right. So at this point, the only thing left is just all the teardown, right? And what I will tell you this, and
Christ,
I'm not gonna dox myself. I'm not gonna do it.
But that is like the biggest case of blue balls. All that build up for nothing.
Right. But here's the thing. I'm not gonna dox myself. But what I will say is that I
live in Vegas.
I do. I work for a organization / business / whatever you want to call it.
Dude, just tell me you work for the Golden Knights. It's fine.
No, I don't. I work somewhere that touches the track.
Hey, I was going to say, be careful about what you're touching.
Right? Like, if I were to stand on the sidewalk in front of my work, I would be
blocked off by a barricade?
Correct. And so let me explain it to you.
Whip it out.
The preparation for Formula One started in April. The entire area of the track, they dug, because for paving they do like they'll pave, and then when they want to repave, they'll like kind of scrape down a layer and then repave it and restripe it and do all that kind of stuff. For Formula One, they scraped away 2 layers. So this, however many, whatever,
they got rid of the boyfriend and the ex-boyfriend. 2
3/4, 2.5 miles, whatever it is, of road. They dug 2 layers down. They repaved the whole thing. The paving started in April, and it ended like right around
last week.
like right around October 1st. So it was like, I'm tired. Like I said, tired of the construction fucked people up. The traffic fucked people up. Dude, my 25-minute drive home was taking, on a good day, 50 minutes.
And
on a bad day, it was taking 70, 80 minutes.
And aren't they doing this every year for the next 10 years?
Yes. So what people have said
Fuck
is,
you.
what people have said is then when it comes time to get ready for F1 next year,
Dude, PTO, baby, I'm going to visit fucking somebody else.
The deep and intense paving won't have to be done again. They'll just have to do a basic paving, which, according to them, won't take as long, and maybe it won't, but that's not going to change the fact that there will still be multiple months of traffic and construction. And like I said, dude, like, you know, go on a map and look it up. Look where Las Vegas Boulevard is in relation to the 15 freeway. It's not far.
No.
And it shouldn't take me 35 minutes to get from Las Vegas Boulevard to the freeway.
No,
but
it's
it did.
Fucking stone's throw, dude. And for
and
the
it's
people that
annoying.
are somewhat bored by this conversation right now, I offer you this photo as we continue talking. Go ahead.
And so just the construction and the traffic and all kinds of stuff. It was, like I said, it was 5.5 months of paving, and then they come in. Oh, we got to put up barricades. We got to put up, lighting truss, and we got to put up blockades around, all the viewing points, and we got to do all this shit and run all these lights and all kinds of stuff. And so, as somebody who works where the track was, I am so glad for it to be over. I'm very happy that it's over.
All right. Well, until next year, I look forward to a year from now where we're talking about Thanksgiving and the goddamn F1. So there you go. As we said, it is going to be a very heavy holiday week for the Sharks, playing 4 games, starting and ending with the Canucks, sandwiching in on Thanksgiving Eve, the first time that the Sharks will face the Kraken this season. And then on Black Friday, a 12:30 game. I might have to make my way over there. We might have to, I don't know, maybe sit together, at least in the same section, so we can flip each other off. Sound good?
Perchance.
Okay. So, again, that's the Rusanowski Recognition Day. You can get yourself a Ruzy towel. That'll be fun. Again, shout out to the peeps that hooked us up on the Venmo over this last week. Big shout out to Swift Shark earlier, throwing down the fucking gauntlet with the donation. Super appreciate you, bro. And again, Swift Shark, if you're on the Tweety, at hockey_jerk, if you need to do it by email, hockeyjerk10@gmail. Swift Shark, just put that in your email and fire that over to Jerk. We're gonna send you something, man, because that was a gauntlet, dude. Huge donation. That's what that was. Huge. So on Twitter, you can follow him at hockey_jerk. You can, nobody needs to follow me. I'm fine. I got enough subscribers. Remember, though, to subscribe to this channel. I don't need Twitter followers, but Teal Town, USA, we can always appreciate a Twitter follow and a subscriber on the channel. And remember, leave your take in the comment section of this video if you weren't able to join us live, because Ian loves to chat it up in there, and that's what I appreciates that about you. Nice little Letterkenny reference right there. You can find links to our social media, podcast apps, and more included in the show notes. And you can get everything on tealtownusa.com. Remember, if you want VIP access to the Discord party that never ends, hit up the Jerk Man. He is the Discord deacon. And as always, we got 4 games this week. What does that mean? That means 4 After Darks where you can hang out with Ian, Puck Guy, Landy, Dana, Jewels, Mark. Who am I forgetting?
Kevin,
Felix. That's, I still feel like we're forgetting somebody. I feel so bad. But the one cool thing that I do have to tell you,
say it.
This is basically for you, Jerkman.
Mm-hmm.
Next Sunday, not a Pucknologist takeover.
Huge.
It's huge. So, final thoughts as we head into this kind of a short week for the working class, a long week for the hockey fan. How you feeling? What are you looking forward to aside from the Turkey Day? Are you looking forward to at least one game where the Sharks score 4 goals? Which game do you think they're Montreal?
I mean, it's going to be the game I'm at for sure.
Yeah, Montreal.
So that's one right there.
If you'd like to meet Hockey Jerk, just show up to the game on Friday and watch who I'm walking next to, and chances are...
I was going to say, I despite the
50-50.
Despite the smoke and mirrors, I have no problem saying hi to people.
It doesn't.
Case in point, our buddy Jerry, every time he emails his pick to me for the giveaway contest, he always sends a nice note along with it because Jerry and I have met in person and we've had a conversation.
Well, and hell of a nice fellow.
Oh, he's like the nicest guy in the world.
Like to almost to a fault. No, you can never be that nice. That's so cool.
Yeah. I'm just looking at it. I think Montreal for sure. I'm gonna say it. Say it right now.
That's the one you're looking forward to for the 4-goal game.
Jerk bump right here.
Hey now.
Write this down, friends. Sharks money line. Hammer the over.
Hammer. We don't even know what it is, but take it.
That's my gambling pick for this week. If you see, the thing is, I make all these gambling picks, and I feel like everybody's like, "Oh my god, fuck gambling," but I had somebody send me a note on Twitter. They were like, "Hey, I followed one of your picks and I won some money, so thanks." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah,
dude!" Love it when that happens.
Yeah. So if you like gambling, follow me. Follow Ryan too.
Absolutely. But in something that I did want to note that we didn't get into earlier, but last season the Sharks, just the forwards, were averaging 5.43 points per game. This year, right now, 17 games, 2.89.
Mm-hmm.
Can't blame that on Blackwood and Kähkönen.
Nope.
The defensive crew, 12 points in 17 games. That's 0.58 points per game. Last season, 2.33 points per game. Obviously, the Carlson effect, but still, you can't blame that on Kähkönen and Blackwood. So for those of you who are like, stop. Educate yourself. So with that, we thank you very much for listening. This show went on about 45 minutes longer than I thought it would, largely because of Jerk not being able to settle on a Thanksgiving food. Thank you.
It's all good, dude.
It's all good. So we hope you have a fantastic end to your Sunday. I think I'm going to go watch some John Oliver. But we will catch you next Sunday following the Thanksgiving weekend. We're going to announce, of course, whoever won the Hat Trick prize pack, along with talking about 4 games and who else knows what may occur. So with that, we thank you very much for joining us. And I think my final word probably has to be fuck John Fisher. Good night, everybody.